Okay, we're live. Let's just get this. Let's do that quickly. Hey Ruth, I can see you in the chat. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna just quickly let everyone else know what's going on. Let some people get in the chat, and then we'll get you one. Okay, cool. No worries. Let's just do what we do. Yeah, Spooky, I see you. You was in the early, Spooky. I see you was in there. I see you. I see you. That's what we're gonna do. Just give us a second, and we'll get Instagram everything aside. Guys, you know what to do. We're gonna let everyone get into the chat. Then we're gonna let everyone know what's going on. We got yeah, I think we're gonna have a really good live tonight. We are. Of course, I'm still banned on Instagram. My name is. You know what? I'm gonna stop doing. I'm gonna stop replying to people. I don't want to get too big-headed and say I'm not gonna reply, but I reply to people, and it feels like every time I reply to people, I say something, and then they want to they want to stop me and then ban me again for 30 days. It just doesn't make any sense, and it just ruins all the good work that I'm doing. So yeah, like I don't rate that at all. You know, I don't rate that at all. But we move. So guys, tonight's live, as I said, it's going to be, are you pro-life? Let's talk about abortion. So we got Ruth, and she's going to be she's a campaigner, pro-life campaigner. She's going to tell you all about what she speaks about. And yeah, like I think I have my own. I definitely got my own notions and thoughts about this, but I want us to open up the conversation, and I see what she's doing, and she's doing lots of good work out there. And to be fair, I actually wanted to get her on the podcast for a while. So this live is kind of just, you know, I want to have a conversation. She's going to tell you about some of the stuff that she's doing currently now, and then obviously now it goes with the questions and what have you not. So yeah, let me carry on doing what I'm doing, and we'll get straight into it. Are you pro-life? Are you really pro-life, man? Are you pro-life? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting because, you know, I think a lot of people think they are until the conversation starts. You know what I mean? I think that's what I think. That's what I think, you know? That's what I think. That's what I think personally, you know? That's what I think personally. So we're gonna just quickly get this set up, and then I'll get Instagram in here, yeah? Alright, so guys, just bear with me 1 second. And yeah, I move stuff around because yeah, you're gonna see what's going on. You're gonna see what's going on shortly. I'm not gonna ruin everything for you. You're gonna see what's going on shortly, okay? Alright, so let's get Instagram aside quickly. On this one over here. Cool. Sorry guys, it's been a while. I've been busy. Like they'd be like, "Why haven't you been streaming live?" Everyone keeps saying to me, "Oh, but why haven't you been streaming live?" Why haven't you been streaming? I've been busy, man. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I really am. I am. I'm sorry. I really am. Guys, like the video, please. The first thing we ask you to do is like the video. Please like the video. It's the easiest thing to do. It really is. It's so easy. You mean? Okay, so let me go. Alright, cool. It's probably one of the easiest things to go and do. So yeah, so guys, like the video, please like the video. Is the one thing that we ask as soon as you pop into the chat. It's free. If this is the first time you're watching, then I ask that you subscribe to the channel, please. You turn notification bell so you never miss an upload. And yeah, we're gonna go straight into it. So Ruth, just make sure you have your camera on. I can see your camera, have your audio on, and then yeah, we're gonna get straight into it. Inside. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, can you see me? Yeah, you can hear me.
How are you?
I'm good. Good. How are you?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can
Yeah,
hear
I'm
you
well,
fine.
thank you. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you perfect. Yeah, I can hear you perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you for pulling through.
Oh, good to see you on another podcast.
wait. We did a podcast already.
We were on one at the same time at one point. Yeah.
Yeah, we was. But you know what? Yes, we was, but we didn't get a chance to like proper have a
No.
conversation.
I haven't been on yours. I haven't been on yours yet.
Why?
First
Why
time.
not? Why haven't you been on mine yet? What's going on? Why not?
Pending the invitation.
I feel like I tried to invite you. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to do this live, and then I'm definitely going to get you to sit down because I did want to get you to sit down and have some conversations about a few things. So I was definitely going to do that. So yeah, please, like, just Ruth, like, introduce yourself and just let everyone know who you are and what is that you do.
So yeah, my name is Ruth Rawlins, and I work for the Centre for Bioethical Reform UK, CBR UK for short. And basically, we're educating on the humanity of babies in the womb and the reality of abortion. So there's a lot of misunderstanding.
Could you just rewind and say that again? The CB what?
Yeah, unfortunately the name is inspired. I shouldn't say unfortunately, by an American name. So they like their long company names. With a Centre for Bioethical Reform UK. CBR UK for short.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. So talk to me about it. What is that?
Yeah, so basically, there's a lot of misunderstanding as to what abortion is, as to who, the what is being aborted, who is it, a human being, is it not, which is almost the fundamental question. And so we educate on this. So we specifically use images to show what the baby looks like from, maybe 6 weeks in the womb all the way up until birth. And we also show what happens to that baby after abortion. So we use images that show the aborted baby as well. And we just share, the scientific facts where a lot of people are really just not aware of. For example, that the heart starts beating at 3 weeks and 1 day. And, at this point, most people don't even know they're pregnant yet. So, yeah, there's just a lot of misunderstanding about what's happening during pregnancy and the growth.
Let's take it from the start. So let's go from the start. So what is abortion?
Exactly. That's the fundamental question. If we're asking someone who would describe themselves as pro-choice, they may say, women's rights, it's reproductive healthcare. There's all of these words which are basically just euphemisms to hide what is really happening. Basically, an abortion is a procedure that ends the life of an innocent human being, the baby in the womb, because, that abortion is only successful if a baby dies. And, what other healthcare procedure is a success if someone dies? There really is no healthcare procedure that rates its success on the death of a human being. And, there's just so much deception that is out there. I mean, when a woman discovers she's pregnant and, maybe she's in a challenging situation or, for whatever reason, she is a shock to her and she goes to the doctor will offer her this as a quote unquote solution to her so-called problem. And so at that, moment where you've got doctors whom we're supposed to trust, right, with our health, offering this as a solution, we've got mass deception in the nation. And, in this nation, we kill over 200. Well, in 2022, there were 251,000 babies aborted. And that's, around 600 a day. And it's really is the biggest cause of death in this nation and in the world. And so it's a genocide that we've got going on. I mean, if you just want to compare it, one of the genocides that we talk about from the past is the Holocaust, right? 11 million were killed in the Holocaust. Yet we kill over 45,000 babies worldwide every single year. So we're far exceeding the Holocaust, in less than half a year. And yet there is not the outcry that this bloodshed deserves. And as I say, it's really, really down to the mass deception. And so what we are doing, we're simply exposing the reality of abortion. And yeah, it's hard. It's not easy, because when someone, especially, if someone has been through abortion and now they're seeing the reality of what happens to their baby, obviously it's going to, hit them hard. Or maybe a man who persuaded his girlfriend to have an abortion. And, sometimes people, because what we do is we take these images and large banners onto the streets. And as I say, the living babies and then the aborted babies. So people walk by and, it simply says life on top of the living baby and choice, ? On top of the aborted baby. So we're not out there protesting abortion, but when image of an aborted baby is held up, abortion protests itself. And yeah, it does cause a stir. Many people will change their mind upon seeing it, because now, they may, I mean, I remember when I first went on, we call them public education displays in the early days when I first did one. And, we had this man, I'll never forget it, because a man walked by and I just asked him, that's what we ask, what do you think about abortion? And he just said, oh yeah, a woman's right to choose, because that seems to be the neutral position in our society. And then I just pointed, I said, have you ever seen this before? And he said, what is that? I said, that's what happens to a baby during an abortion. And he said, well, I'm not for that. If that's what happens, I am not for that at all. So that was, a complete turnaround. Now, not everyone does a complete turnaround. Some people have to, fight or with themselves, because at the end of the day, people have been held deep-seated views for years and decades. And, the media, the education system, and the government, as I said, even the doctors are pushing this as if it's, an equal option and a choice, like, choosing whether to have chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream. But, we're talking the choice to kill.
Yeah. So that's what abortion is. Shout out to the chat gangs, guys. Please, as you step into the chat, please make sure you like the video. You like the video as you pop into the chat. It's easy, it's free, and it definitely helps us push up the content. Yes, big up Doug MPA. That's one of our mods in the chat. Big up Doug. Let's go. Yeah, guys, this is a conversation that needs to be heard. This is a conversation that definitely needs to be heard, and we're gonna have it, and we're gonna make sure it gets heard. Shout out to Spooky, says, I think abortion globally figures are actually 75 million a year according to the WHO. I think you said 45,000. I was about to say it, but but you would.
Yeah, you know what? There are different figures out there. I tend to be conservative and go with the lower one, just so no one can accuse you of conflating the figures. But yeah, I'm familiar with that figure as well.
Big up Spooky as well. He says, I think it's strange when those against the pro-life position, people talk about a fetus like it's not human, while everyone against the pro-life position was themselves once a fetus, as was everyone. Interesting. So for me, okay, so what is pro-life? What is pro-life? So not pro-life. What is pro? Sorry. We know what abortion is. So tell me what is pro-life. Then I want you to tell me what is pro-choice.
Okay. Well, the pro-life position is basically, we use the word syllogism, which is a fancy word for argument. And, you know, the first premise is that it's wrong to intentionally kill an innocent human being. Now, most people would agree with that statement, right? Like, it's wrong to intentionally kill an innocent human being. Now, the second premise is that abortion intentionally kills an innocent human being. And the conclusion is, therefore, abortion is wrong. Now, that's where people would disagree with the second premise. Some people would say, actually, no, abortion doesn't kill an innocent human being. And that's why it's every pro-lifer's job to kind of, you know, persuade society that actually, you know, abortion does kill an innocent human being, because the science is conclusive that life starts at fertilization, when a sperm isn't a human being and an egg isn't a human being. But when the sperm and the egg meet at fertilization, at that moment, it becomes a zygote, and that is scientifically the beginning of human life. At that point, it has its own DNA separate to that of its parents, and it has everything it needs to grow and continue. It just needs, you know, the environment of the mother's womb. And so that is the pro-life position, that it's wrong to intentionally kill innocent human beings. And you know, you want the pro-choice?
Yeah, pro-choice. I want to know pro-choice.
Yeah, so the pro-choice, so they've coined this phrase choice because choice sounds nice, right? Choice sounds great. And there's a lot of confusion about what this is, because some people will say, oh, pro-choice is like, you know, I'm not pro-abortion, I'm pro-choice. And it's like, well, if you're pro the choice to have an abortion, then you're pro-abortion, right? Because we wouldn't say that for anything else. We wouldn't say that for, oh, I'm pro-choice for slavery. I just wouldn't own my own slave. I own a slave myself. It's just like, well, you know, either it's an injustice or it's not an injustice. And so it's quite a deceptive and a very clever, I must say, phrase that they've used to try and get people to not pin their colors to the mast, right? And to try and I don't know if you're familiar with like relativism, that there's no such thing as, you know, go ahead.
No. We're talking about it. No, explain it to me.
Yeah, that there's no such thing as right. Yeah. So relativism, that there's no such thing as right and wrong. Like everyone can, you know, it can be right for you, or what your truth. You know, you can have your truth and I can have my truth, and they can be different, but they can both be true, which ultimately doesn't make sense, right? Because you know, there is ultimate truth. You know, I mean, I can use another controversial topic to explain that, in that I am a woman. And that's the truth of the matter. And you can't say that, no, I'm a man, like if you believe that I'm a man. Do you know what I mean? It's just that relativism just it doesn't hold. And so, you know, that's kind of the ideology that this pro-choice comes from. It's to try and get people to stop basically defending the babies, because if they can get people who would naturally be pro-life and naturally, you know, oppose the killing of innocent human beings, which is kind of the natural position of humanity, then they have to try and stop us. When I say they, I mean the abortion industry.
I'm going to quickly just bring in somebody. You wanted to ask your question. He's our moderator. I would contact with him. I'm going to just bring him in quickly because I think he had a question to ask you. So I'm going to bring him in quickly, and then I think he's got a question to ask you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
So I'm in the United States, and what you were talking about the pro. I have a couple of things I want to say. What you're talking about the pro-choice thing, it gets really sticky because
guys, like the video, please. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you like the stream, Yeah, guys, you go straight in.
More women in this whole female empowerment. I'm so strong. Abortion has been included in that for some reason. I have no idea why. But you have more women who are pro-life than they say they would, because here's the trick. Are you ready? They say, I support a woman's right to choose, but then I wouldn't have one.
Exactly.
So I always say there's pro-life, pro-choice, where the women wouldn't have an abortion themselves, but they empower other women to do it. And then there's the other way around, where it's like, um, you're right about getting all mixed up. Whereas you want women to make a straight stance on it, right? Like, don't do this whole what's it called? Not me for thee type thing. Was that
Yeah.
what you're talking about?
Yeah.
And then go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, go ahead.
And then let me know what you think about this. So I'm in the United States, right? I'm pro-choice only because um, the likelihood of women giving up the right to choose is like never going to happen. Number one, in the United States, and two, um,
Mm.
I think if a woman can choose not to be a mother, well, then a man should be able to choose not to be a father. I don't know if you know this, but Roe versus Wade in the United States got shot down, like the federal right to choose.
Yep.
So they made it into a state issue, right? So about half the states in the United States, you can't have an abortion, right? So if these women are preaching fairness and they're never going to give the ideal thing for me would be if a woman can choose not to be a mother, well, then a man should be able to choose not to be a father.
We call that
right?
a financial abortion.
Yes, exactly. A man should be able to walk into the courthouse and say, look, I don't want nothing to do with this woman or this kid. I'm giving up my rights. In the United States, a mother has to sign off on a father giving away his rights, which is unfair. So the only reason why I'm fine with the states that are pro-life and have outlawed abortion is because it's truly equal, like these women want. In Mississippi, in Texas, in these other states, a man can't choose to not be a father, and a woman can't choose not to be a mother. So, as a pro-choice person, I'm perfectly fine with the pro-life until we get that avenue where men can choose not to be fathers. Well, then, hey, maybe women shouldn't have the right to choose not to be mothers. What do you think?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. What was your name?
I'm Doug in I'm Doug in PA.
Doug.
Okay. All right. Yeah, thank you.
Shout out to Shadow and London on TikTok, guys. We're streaming on YouTube as well. I take it you guys on TikTok, you subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't, why have you not? But we're streaming on YouTube as well. The link's in the bio because you're not going to be able to see the people's faces, but you're going to be able to hear it. Shout out to Shadow. Shadow's from London says he believes that men should have a choice and have a say in it. This is good. I'm liking the fact that men are speaking up, but he definitely says that, and that's coming from TikTok.
But go ahead.
But go on.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for making that point. I wanted to ask, what
Shadow's
are
a
you
woman. It's actually a woman.
for?
Huh?
Okay. Yeah, what are you pro the choice for? What is this choice you're talking about?
I've accepted the fact
you
that
said
women
you're pro-choice.
Yes. I accept the fact that women want to exercise the right to be able to delete a child.
Delete.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't say the M word
Delete
on YouTube. Yeah, you have to say delete.
All right, so
Don't say
you're
the
not
M word.
denying. Okay, so you're not denying what's happening. You're just
I accept
censoring for the sake of YouTube. Okay.
Yeah.
And but is that should she be able to do that after the baby's born?
Women
Delete.
Women
Should she be able to delete her child after the baby's born?
Look,
Why
everything
not?
that you
Why
can
not?
say about hold on. Everything that you can say about your pro-life position, hey, I'm not going to question you on yours. You can have yours. It's just as a man, I've accepted the fact that women want to exercise it. So because women have that right, I have to navigate through that system. There's talking about what could be and what actually is. I'm talking about what actually is. I'm pro-choice because I accept the fact that women can be pro-choice, and some mothers are awful. Situations happen where, is this whole life thing, okay, good, whatever. I'm a policy guy. That's where freaking MPA comes from. I have degrees in policy. I'm all about what affects people's lives. Okay. Women have the right to choose. You can talk about this whole moral thing all you want, but policy doesn't have to be moral. It should be, but all the time it's not. So if you want to go into this whole pro-life thing, I'm gonna concede all that to you. But I'm talking about the let's get on the ground, boots on the ground, like actual policy wise. What That's my position. So if you want to, is it a life? You know, I
was just trying to, I was trying to kind of, I'm trying to pin you down as to what your position actually is, because it sounds a little confused, if I'm honest with you. Because
I'll tell you straight up. I'll tell you straight. I'm pro-choice because one, women. Okay, I think that women should be able to exercise body autonomy. That's my position.
I'm a huge believer. Like, I believe I've said this.
Is it a life? Yes. Yeah. Whatever. But like, look.
But you're using the euphemism, bodily autonomy, to what? We can all do what we want with our bodies, right? But surely our autonomy should stop where our rights now impinge upon someone else's, right? So if I'm in a room with you now, I can't take my hand. I can do what I want with my hand. It's my hand. But as soon as I take my hand and punch you in the face, now I've impinged upon your rights, right?
Okay.
Because you have the right for me not to punch you. So that's what we would say is the case with abortion. Sure, it's the woman's body, but the person that, as the word you say, is being deleted is another human being. So now this woman's right to bodily autonomy is conflicting with another human being's right to life. And what should be the fundamental and the kind of primary, most important right, would you say?
You're getting into the moral argument, and I don't want to do that because I don't care about it. I don't care about the moral part of abortion.
This is what debate's all about, right?
No. I'm talking about the policy part. What do you think about?
But Doug, I think for her, sorry, I think so. Do you want you have a Christian? You're Christian, right? You're Christian, right, Ruth? Yeah, you have a strong faith.
Me, yes, I am a Christian.
I'm just having this.
But I think, But I was going to say, yes, I do have a Christian. I am a Christian, and so I believe it's wrong to kill. But I think many human beings who are not Christians also agree with the premise that it's wrong to kill. So, yeah.
Well, I'm just asking you, under the law, what do you think about the equality part? Actually, let's start with this. What would be your ideal legislative, what legislative changes would you make to be able to make your position in society? Like what laws would you pass? What would you take away? Because then we can have a conversation like I want to have.
Okay, good question. I believe that all human beings are equal. They have equal value. Just for simply being part of the human, family, right? There's not human plus, because when we've done human plus in history, all sorts of people have been, targeted for injustice. And at the moment, we've got human plus being born, because it's scientifically correct to say that the child in the womb is a human being from the point of conception. So I believe that those children, those humans, should have the right to life, and that right should be protected under law. So I know the law is different in your country and in the UK, but here we actually do have a law which says that it's, we've got the 1864 Offences Against a Person Act, which states that you can't procure abortion using poison and stuff. But what we've got is we had the 1967 Abortion Act, which came and gave exceptions to that case. So most people don't actually realize that most of the abortions that happen here are under exceptions, and they're supposed to be signed off by 2 doctors, but there's all sorts of pre-signing of forms, and the law is completely abused, and most of the abortions are done.
So once again, if you had the magical pen to write a law,
yeah, we'd scrap that. I'd scrap the
You'd
1967
have
Abortion Act in the UK.
You'd have illegal all across the board.
Yeah, but we would see protections. Now, I know that the exceptions that some people will raise is things like ectopic pregnancy, so to save the life of the mother. And whilst ectopic pregnancy is not actually deemed as an elective abortion, it's because just to simplify it, we would ban elective abortions, if that helps simplify it for you, rather than abortions, where the mother's life needs to be saved, which is a lot rarer than people are led to believe.
Okay.
So yeah, I think when it comes to the conversation about abortion, there's several topics. Well, there's multiple parts of this, but I think you have morality. The morality is always there. You can have obviously religion.
That's why I stay away from the moral part.
Yeah,
we can dance around it for hours.
He talks in the sense.
A lot of laws are morality. You can't say that. Oh, don't. A lot of laws are based on morality.
Yeah, but a lot of them aren't, though.
We're not allowed to murder, right?
Guys, one voice. Else is gonna.
No,
one voice. Else is gonna keep.
Policy's not based upon morality. If it lines up with it, cool. But a lot of times it doesn't. If you look throughout history, a lot of times, a lot of official policy writing processes, especially when it's based upon the majority, it would be nice if it lined up with morals, but sometimes it doesn't.
So
morals isn't the base of policy.
It sometimes does.
Yeah, guys, Doug, I want to say something. So here's the thing, right? So there's morality, there's religion, there's, for Doug, it's basically law, and he's dealing with what women's rights are. And when you deal with women's rights, you just have to know, like, this is what it is, right? And these are the laws that are there. So rather than campaigning against it, even he just knows that these are the rights that women have. So when I say, this is what I say to men, right? This is what I say to men. I say, a woman, like you said, a woman has autonomy and sovereignty over her body. A woman has the right to choose. A woman has the right to wear what she wants. A woman has the right to go where she wants. A woman has the right to sleep with who she wants consensually. Okay. So like these are the these are the rights that women have, right? And the reason I want to speak about them is because being a supportive woman means I actually support women's rights. I actually do. I do. When we speak about feminism, we support feminism, first wave feminism. The women have the right to equality, choose, like all workplace, all that stuff. Everything that we can do, I'm down for that. Okay. What we have now is not really what I'm a fan of. It's not what I support. But when we're speaking about this, is women have fought, women have fought for their right for this, okay? And what do I say to men? I say to men is you have no control over another woman's body, right? The only control
once you let that seed go, you got no rights.
Yeah, you have no rights. So one of the things I promote, and I'm a big man and I haven't got any kids, and one of the things that people always
I don't
say,
have any kids either.
Yeah, and he doesn't have any kids anywhere, and we're men in our 40s, we don't have any kids, right? Like the reason why you were able to say that is because sexual discipline and the fact that we understand something. The moment you give your seed, this is why when men say, "Oh, she trapped me," it's one of the funniest things. When a man says, "Oh, she trapped me," ask him, "Oh, bro, explain to me how she did that." It's one of the funniest things because she didn't trap you.
You're an idiot. That's what happened.
You're an idiot. You shot at the club. You believed in her. You did whatever it was, but you gave your power across to that woman. And the moment you do that is the moment where you are you at the mercy of her. Now this is how it goes, right? No child is born into this world because a man wants it, and no child is born into this world because a man doesn't want it. And the reason why I say that is because women control their body, right? They can literally be pregnant and you won't even know, and they can just get rid of it, right? For me, I look at abortion like the ace card they have in their back pocket. I look at it like the ace card in the back pocket. And what is it allowed to happen is allowed women to basically go through their life without consequence for a lot of women, all right? And because in the back of their mind, they know, what, man can just delete that. Do you get me? Man can just get rid of that. And a lot of women do have that type of mentality. So one of the things I want to speak about is because men don't have any control over that. There's a lot of men that have had their babies terminated and they wanted to keep them. There's a lot of men that didn't want children and wouldn't have had them. So you know, I'm quite aware of whose favorites in. So what I push to men is that the moment you shoot up that club, you have no more control and you're at the mercy of a woman. And women can pick and choose, and they pick and choose who they want to make into a father. So one thing I do think is this, right? If you did take away abortion, a lot of people say, oh, you know, it will take it back to the days of, you know, batshit abortions. I don't think that's what's going to happen.
Me neither.
I think, in actual fact, people are going to start thinking about who they lay down with.
You got it.
I think because what's happening with the Roe v. Wade thing is that people have to leave. People have to now leave the states and to go do it. So now they're more likely to think about the actions that they have, and it promotes, less promiscuity and some of the things. I'm not trying to say that, you know, in certain scenarios a woman shouldn't be able to, you know, protect her life. You know, I'm not. There's arguments about great babies and, you know, them being raised. We can speak about that, but what I'm trying to say is essentially is I'm a supporter of women's rights, but I also believe that, part of the problems is the fact that we have this and it's so readily available, and your daughter can go and get it done and without you knowing. So yeah, I'm a little bit on both sides. Like, I'm on the side that, well, you know, if you got rid of it, then it would promote, you know, it will go back to the days of when people actually had to, you know, think about what they were doing. And, you know, but at the same time,
I'm just going to reiterate my position. So I'm pro-choice because I accept the reality that it's here and it's here to stay.
Yeah.
But I can support the pro-life position because men are never going to legally have the right to not be a father. So in the States, in America, where they're pro-life and no abortion, it's truly equal between the sexes, like these women want. It's equal. The only way it's equal is if there's the right to an abortion and a man can have to walk into the courthouse and say, hey, I don't want any part of this. But because a man can't do that, well then, hey, I'm perfectly fine with pro-life policies because it puts the same burden of responsibility on the man and the woman. So I'm pro-choice because I accept the fact that women can do it. But hey, the pro-life thing is cool too, because all this equality women are asking for, and the pro-life states, it is equal.
Doug, I get your point. If the child in the womb is not a human, if we're just talking about, you know, this woman having her appendix out, she should have that right. And then, yeah, your point makes sense, because then it is simply just about equality between men and women. But if there's a third person in this equation, why don't they get a right to life? Why don't they get a say in the whole? Obviously, they don't get a say because they don't speak, but surely it's our duty to protect the vulnerable as, you know, as grown human beings. Like, if it was a 2-year-old, we wouldn't be saying, you know, if they were arguing about can we kill the 2-year-old, we wouldn't be saying, oh, it depends, does the man have the right to do it, does a woman have the right to do it? We wouldn't, because we'd be like, no, don't kill the 2-year-old.
When is the fetus a baby? When is the fetus?
Huh?
When is
let me land. Let my point land.
Go on land.
What do you think about? Is that not fair to say that we, like, it makes sense if it's not human, but if it is a human being, it changes everything, and that child should get the right to life.
It's gonna take a woman like, first off, I admire your conviction and your position, because it's going to take more women like you to talk to your fellow women, because women don't listen to us at all. You know that, right? And also the politicians. So, like, there are more women voters and men vote less.
Don't underestimate. Don't underestimate the power of your voice, of men's voice. Don't underestimate the power of men's voice to women.
I'm going by the raw numbers. If you look at the raw numbers in the States, there are more women and men are just, we just make it. I'm not, you know how many guys I know, I'm just not going to vote. I'm like, what are you not voting for? The fact that a lot of us guys are just too dumb to vote, not too dumb, but we're ignorant of our power to vote. If you look at the numbers, men, there are less of us and men vote less. And also, but politicians know that they can get women on emotional issues, so they pander to these women and say, hey, so what I'm saying is it's going to take more voices like you, because women don't listen to men in general in 2024 about anything, let alone body autonomy. And two, men, we're not supposed to talk about this, and we can't even talk about a woman's hair, let alone her body autonomy. You know what I'm saying?
Don't make me get into that one. They be cooking me on TikTok for me speaking about black women's hair. That's a different conversation. That's a different conversation.
Well, I'm gonna get off.
Yeah.
I appreciate your conviction, your position. I'm pretty sure that on a moral stance, you and I would probably agree on most things, which is why I don't even want to go there. But I'm all about the practical application of it. I have 2 degrees in policy, so my head's always in that realm. China, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having this conversation. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
How was he bought that American Hotness food, that fire pause for the Hotness, but yeah.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to mix it up. I don't want to be just speaking to people who agree with me, so it's good. It's good. Bring the pro-choice, bring the pro-aborts on.
Yeah, guys, if you wanna, if you would like to, if you'd like to jump on the stream, hold on, let me quickly just drop the link as well. If anyone would like to jump on and tell us, about what your position is. Are you pro-life? Are you pro-choice? You don't know. I mean,
but China,
go on.
You sound confused. You sound confused.
Why? I'm not confused. Like I believe. I just believe a woman has the right to choose on her body.
To choose what?
Whatever she
chooses.
To
choose what? Use the words.
To choose
Choice has
whatever
limits.
No, but I'm saying. Saying. What to choose? No, like I don't see the things I say. I'm passionate about the things I say, and I back up everything I say. So I wouldn't say that I would take away something that I didn't feel that I would. Do you know what I mean? So I can only say how I feel or what I think, should I say. Do you get me? So I'll say what I think, but it's not a position down the line. So there's certain scenarios where I would say, I would say, so for example, if they did a vote, for example, like what they did in America, the Roe v. Wade thing, and it went that way, I would be like, yeah, that's cool. I'll be cool with that.
Okay. But I wouldn't. I guess I'm challenging you because you're using the phrases, the meaningless phrases.
Wow,
you know what I mean? Of abortion lobby. No. Like I'm pro-choice. People should have a right to choose, and we need to establish what that choice is.
What am I supposed to say?
Like what choice? You need to spell out what that choice is. We're talking about the choice to kill their offspring. So yeah, can you spell it out? Can you say that? Can you say I believe we have a choice?
Personally, I don't want no woman to kill my baby. In it. Me personally, I don't have.
Other kids. Women can kill their own.
No. But what I'm saying to you is, if I'm not out here trying to go and get no. Delete. It's gonna hit my stream. I'm not trying to go and if I got a woman pregnant for some reason because I was moving mad, I don't see why. But I'm not gonna, go and try to get rid of that. Like that's not something I'm trying to go and do.
But as you said, she could do it without you.
Yeah, but if she did it, I wouldn't be happy. Like, if she did it and I want it, but this is something that men have to understand, that you don't have control over that. And I'm a realist, and I'm not one of these people that fight causes that are that you're gonna lose and stuff. Innit? I'm a realist, and part of being a realist is that it's like, yo, like, part of being a realist is understanding that I don't have control over that. And until the laws and certain things change, or if they change, I just have to know that you know, if you shoot the club up in the girl and you don't want to have that baby, she can control if you want to have that baby. And if you shoot the club up in the girl and you want to have that baby and she don't want to have that baby, she can still get rid of that baby. And then if she gets rid of the baby, if she gets rid of the baby, everyone's gonna support her. You know what I mean? Because it's not your body. And then if she doesn't want to get rid of the baby, and then you don't want to be in it, everyone's gonna support her and demonize you. So this is what you have to understand.
Yeah. One thing I just would want to raise that is not as simple as it sounds, in that obviously within our work we meet many women. We have many women amongst us who have had abortions. We, you know, one of the projects we run is post-abortion support for everyone. And, you know, so women who get involved with our work who've had abortions can go and find, you know, recovery and healing in that, specifically in that course. We believe Jesus heals and sets free. And but yeah, it's like, as much as the media would want you to believe that women walk into the abortion clinic thinking, yes, I'm going to exercise my fundamental right to choose, they really, really don't. Women walk into the abortion clinics in fear. With, you know, fear is the fundamental main reason. Fear because of maybe, you know, they feel that they can't afford it. Fear because they feel the partner may not be there. Fear because of their career, you know, and whether these are you know, kind of rational fears or not is irrelevant to a certain extent, because these women often, they do it because they feel fear. And there is a lot of pain and repercussions after abortion as well. And that's why many of the women are silent afterwards, because they're kind of led to believe that, you know, you made this choice, now you have to, you know, deal with it. And at the end of the day, women are bereaved because they're silently grieving the loss of their child. And some of them, it might not be conscious, it might be subconscious. But, you know, there's a friend of mine, she used to say, and she would say, you know, I never thought about my abortion until I got drunk, and then I'd be in the toilets crying about it, you know. So there is, it impacts women, it impacts father, as you brought up, it impacts fathers. The father that, you know, didn't want the woman to have an abortion, but she went ahead and had one. Yeah, they too grieving. I'm sure you've heard the testimonies, some of those testimonies online. They too can be, you know, grieving the loss of their child. It's a real grief because there was a real human being. And, you know, what is, if we're just talking on a human level, like, you know, when you're looking at the news, it's all sorts of things, terrible news we see, right? Wars, different countries against each other, different tribes against each other. The closer to home, you know, any kind of killing is, the more outrageous it is, right? So when you see the ones where, you know, a mother killed her 3-year-old, there's just such an outrage, right? How could a mother kill her own child? But that is why it's so fundamentally traumatic, because these women have been deceived. That it's all these small minimizing words, healthcare, choice. You say these things enough, they brainwash the population. Like, so we've seen it throughout history.
What do women have to say? Majority of women, do they support what you say or not?
You can't. It's split, right? It's like, do the majority of people support Conservative? Do the majority of people support Labour?
No,
we'll see on election day, right?
The women, I mean, the women, you know, do women support you? Do you have the backing of women?
Most people, okay, we're on the street, we're having conversations all the time. I would say you really can't say most, because we meet pro-life people, we meet pro-choice, pro-abortion people. However, most of the people who are even pro-choice or pro-abortion, they wouldn't be like, yeah, it's a great thing. Most of them would be like, it's the worst of two evils, or it's an unfortunate. Do you know what I mean? It's an unfortunate necessity. That's the kind of feeling around it. It's these things of rights. We have to just take ourselves away from like the narratives of the media that are just painting it, that are just kind of just painting it as if this is women are celebrating this.
Let me quickly read this. Doug says, I wanted to say that there is pro-life / pro-life / pro-choice, and pro-choice / pro-choice. 1, I would never have an abortion. 2, I would never have one, but you can get one. 3, everyone should get one. I think the conversation. Listen, with stuff like this, I've seen the pictures that you post up. The big signboards on the back of trucks and also that you do, and I've seen the reaction. It's part. It's on the thumbnail and how people react to you. I've seen that you need security when you're out on the streets, when you're doing this. I've seen people pulling down your posters and stuff. Now, lots of angry women, angry men, like that doesn't look like support of women.
Yeah, but that is the minority. The ones that actually pull down the banners are the other minority. But I'm not trying to say that everyone supports us. It's split. It's split because we believe that a generation has been deceived. We could talk about, the Holocaust. We could talk about the transatlantic slave trade, and depending in where you are in history. If we went back to the time where the transatlantic slave trade was legal, the white people in England would have, where do they stand? They would have supported it because it was out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah.
But when they started to in any injustice, as long as the victim group has been dehumanized, that's why I said that people should be valued. I
think it's a bad comparison to make abortion to slavery.
You know what, China? It's a terrible comparison to make. If the unborn aren't human, but if the unborn are human, what's wrong with it? I'm comparing a group of people who have been dehumanized.
Yeah,
to be targeted
to unborn humans.
I'm saying that unborn. I'm saying both groups of people have been dehumanized. The Jews, what did they do? They stripped. In the Holocaust, they had to. They called them vermin. They called them animals.
But then that's when you're going to lose people, because what you're doing is, I get it. But trying to make people envision that women's right to choose autonomy and sovereignty.
You're just spewing there. You're just spewing out their catchphrases. So you are. You have to see yourself. You have to admit it. What does a woman's right to choose mean? It means nothing. A woman's right to choose her hairstyle. A woman's right to delete her child.
Yeah. Okay. A woman's right to listen. A woman to delete her unborn child.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. At least you're using the real words.
No, but I can that. I'm just trying. Do you know what it is? I'm trying to be sensitive on the stream, innit? But yeah, a woman's right to delete.
Yeah, no, I know, but what I'm saying is they could say back in the day there were all sorts of euphemisms to justify other injustices. In history.
I know, but
it was there were traders' rights during the transatlantic slave trade.
I know, I get it, but you're not gonna.
They should have their rights to own property. Why shouldn't they?
This is why you're gonna lose them. You get me? Yeah. Like, this is why you're gonna lose people, because what you're doing is you have a good argument. You have a good argument. You have a good movement, and I respect what you're doing. And I wouldn't, you know, if I saw you in the street, yeah, I would support. I wouldn't be against it. But when you start saying, you know, making comparisons to the Holocaust and to transatlantic slavery, what you're doing is you're trying to invoke an emotion, okay? And this time, and not you per se, but this happens to be something. It's like a wokeism thing, and what they try to do, it tends to be quite a leftism thing. They try to use emotion to evoke emotion. So I'm like, I'm with you, but the moment you start trying to compare a woman deleting her unborn child to others, you know what I mean? Things that affect. Yeah, it's not gonna.
But that's because you're not accepting that it's an injustice.
No,
you're not. You're viewing it. It is an injustice.
But you know what it is?
So
it is an injustice.
So for a woman deleting her child, is it an injustice?
No,
is it
but
injustice
not every injustice.
scale?
But not every injustice equates. No, but listen, not every injustice equates to the same. So two wrongs don't make a right, but both two wrongs are not the same wrong. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So of course it's an injustice, but you're not about to compare the stripping of people from their land over 400 years of displacement, yeah, the diaspora, what it's gone and done, and literally we can go into slavery and talk about it, the butt breaking, and then you're gonna be like, oh, because yes, unborn children, yes, it's not good. Can I tell you something? What was your earliest memory?
What was my comparison? Can I tell you why?
I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. Okay. I want to ask you a question. What was your earliest memory? Can you remember your earliest memory?
My earliest memory was probably when I was around 3 or 4. Probably.
3 or 4. What was that? What was it?
Oh, I don't know. Probably like my mum or something. My mum's probably, I don't know.
All right, cool.
I can't. What was yours?
My earliest memory. My earliest memory I can remember is in reception. Is when reception when we first came to this country, and reception when I went to my first reception. So I can remember that. The reason I want to say that to you is because there was a lot of things that happened before that. There was there was lots of wars, the Second World War, the First World War. So I'm saying to you, 1800s, 1700s, 1600s, we had Jesus, we had dinosaurs, okay. You didn't know what was going on there, and after you go, you're not gonna know what's going on after. So the reason I want to tell you this is because you're trying to basically equate a woman, an unborn child, to the lives of people that are in the Holocaust or slavery. But I would look at that and say, no, it's not the same thing.
They're not exactly the same, of course.
They're the same
point.
thing.
But did you get what my point was? But let me make very clear. Let me make very clear my point. My point is to do an injustice to a group of people on a systematic scale. You have to first dehumanize them. You dehumanize them with your words, and you compare them to property. You compare them to property. They are less than human. And in all 3 of those examples, we've seen this playing out. So that is my comparison. Of course, you can't compare like 3 different. Of course, there's differences between the 3, but they are injustices where a group of people have been systematically dehumanized.
I get it, but here's a group of people. See, and this is why you go wrong. And this, so tell you what you need to do. You need to get. Pardon me?
It's age. Obviously, like with the other ones, it's an ethnic group, right? Or a racial group, ethnic group. Whereas this is age. And throughout history, there's been other.
But you see, when you want to get people, when you're out in the street, right? And you're trying to get people, because I do it as well. And there's a level of, you have to understand, okay, how I'm presenting this information. Okay. And if you don't care, you don't care. Because sometimes I don't care. And most of the time I don't actually care. But what I will say to you is you will lose people. You will lose people that would support you when you pick some of the worst atrocities and things in humanity that's happened to people and to minorities or specific groups, right? And when you pick that and then you use that as a stable for your your thesis or whatever it is, for your manifesto, right? When you do that, what happens is you get people now saying, actually, no, it's not like that. And then what happens is, rather than me focusing on what we was focusing on earlier on, when we had Doug on, which I was pretty much whatever, now I'm like, nah, it's not like the Holocaust. It's not like transatlantic slavery. You might feel like it is.
The stats are worse.
Huh?
There's on a grand scale, more babies have been killed by abortion than slaves were stolen from Africa than Jews were killed. I've already made the case about 11 million Jews, and we're killing 45 million babies every year. As one of your viewers said, 75 million, according to some stats. So if you want to say it's not the same scale, you're right. The babies are killed on a far greater scale.
Yeah.
Either they're human, China, or they're not. China, either they're people or they're not. Do you believe that there's something? Do you believe that there are subhumans? That some human beings?
Listen, here's the thing.
I'm asking you a genuine question. Sorry, I get passionate.
No, I believe life begins at conception.
Okay, so if it begins at conception, then that child in the womb, is it of equal value to me and you?
No.
It's subhuman.
It's not subhuman, it's just not equal value.
Okay, so some human beings are more valuable than others.
100%. Yeah, and we all know this is true. We know this is true.
I disagree. But
I don't agree.
You may say that.
I don't agree with it. See, and here's the thing about men and women. This is why we're different. See, we don't as men, we deal in the probability and the reality, not the possibility, and not kumbaya and how society should be. If we can make it be, then yes, we shall. But here's the realness of it. So I know some people's lives are worth more than others. Like people's lives are trade. People's lives are trade.
Okay. I hear what you're saying. You're saying that in society, some lives are worth more than others.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm asking you, China. Do you believe that all human beings are of equal value?
Of course not.
Do you
I believe in the eyes of God they are.
You know.
I believe in the eyes of God.
Let me rephrase this. I'm not saying do you think that they actually are treated in such a way. I'm saying do you think that they should be equal? You believe in the eyes of God that all human beings are equal.
Yeah, we're born equal. We're all born equal in the eyes of God, but we're not all born equal, and we should know this. Can I give an example? Right? Yeah. If a child born in England, and a child born in the middle of Syria right now, they're both born equal, right? But is one not born ahead of the other, just based upon locality? So we're not all born equal. So is one child is worth more than the other, right? Okay.
In practice, example, there's practice, but isn't this what happens in the world, right? There's injustices.
Here's the thing. Let me say, like, I live in the real world. Wait, hold on. I live in the real world. We have kids that are coming on boats, right? On boats, right? On boats. They don't treat them the same as how they treat us. They don't treat foreigners the same.
And I'm not disagreeing. Okay, we're talking over each other. I'm saying that there's what's happening in practice, and then there's what we aspire to, right? And surely that's why you even have a podcast, right? Because you've seen something in society that you think needs kind of fixing with your voice. Yeah. Surely, right?
And you see the headache I get. And you see what the headache I get for it.
But yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So you believe in the cause. You believe in what you've got to say so much that you're willing to take flack for speaking what you believe is important to impact society. So you do care about changing society. You don't just accept, this is how it is.
I do care about changing society, but here's the thing. Like, I put a target on my back every single day when I do this content, right? Like, my mother said to me, son, why do you care so much? I said, Mom, because I'm doing God's work and I'm supposed to do this. She's like, why do you even care? And I said, I feel like I'm supposed to do this, right? Because I don't actually have to care this much. But I care. And I care about women, and I care about people that don't care about me. Because when they say it takes a village, it means that you have to lead the village, even if they don't want to be led. Like, you have to lead women which don't want to be led. You have to tell them stuff which they don't want to hear. If my black sisters don't want to hear about the hair and the stuff, you know, you're gonna speak to them in a way they're gonna hate you for it, but you're still gonna say it. Do you think I want to hear? Do you think I want to hear? Oh, you hate black women, you hate your mother. Da, da, da. You don't want to hear that. But at the same time, we're speaking about higher consciousness. So you're gonna do it. Do you get me? So I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, what I'm trying to make you understand is I agree fundamental, but I agree with a lot of that you say. But you want me to feel as if I can't feel how you feel about an unborn. I just it's not in me.
It's not about feeling how I feel. I mean, you've seen the images and you agreed, right?
I know that. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That is deleting a human being.
It is.
And
I agree.
And I guess it's just like we can either accept it's going to happen, or we can fight it if we truly believe it's an injustice. And that's we have to make that decision. But I believe, because you brought God into this as well, that we will stand before God, and He will say, you know, what did you do on your watch when the greatest injustice was happening?
I mean, listen, if that's what you feel as if that what God has called you to do, and definitely you'd feel as if, because you're like those, you're like those Jehovah's Witnesses that are outside on the street and that, like, so you have to really be passionate, because people hate them. We hate you guys, like, so not you personally, but I mean those other people, but like,
no, people hate us. Yeah.
Yeah, so because seriously, you're standing there, nobody wants to be confronted, you know, on the way in the morning.
People do thank us. Yeah. Some people thank us. People, as I say, it's mixed. It's mixed. Some people thank us. You know, we've seen babies saved as a result of seeing these images.
Some humans are worse more than others. Stop capping. I know. It's all right. It's all right. She was being cute. It's okay. She's doing what women do. Spooky says you only lose people because they don't want to be confronted with the truth that we are guilty of similar injustices as people like. Oh, and the slave traders was like, look, here's the thing. I agree with a lot of what she's saying. I'm not even saying I don't agree. I'm not even saying I don't agree with what she's saying. But I think where where you would struggle is women have fought for this same thing that you're trying to take away. Women have fought for. Women fight tooth and nail for it. Yeah. The Roe v. Wade stuff should show you that, like, women fight tooth and nail for these things, right? They fight tooth and nail for these things. So when you take them away from them,
men have been fighting as well. Men have been fighting for it as well. It's not just for women. It's quite convenient for some men. It's convenient for some men to be able to delete the babies.
Well, I mean, but considering we don't have control over it, I wouldn't say it's convenient.
But again, and what's interesting is that the pro-choice side will say, "Oh, men shouldn't be able to have a view," but they didn't mind that it was on Roe v. Wade when that came in, that it was all men on the Supreme Court. They didn't have a problem with that, so they don't mind the men putting the laws in if it suits them, but they'll complain if it.
So one of the things that I found and know is that with women, you know, modern women anyway, see, they don't want equality. Do you realize equality? When you say to women what equality means the same. It means 50-50. It means you have the rights. They don't want that. So I'm saying to you, so they don't want that, because equality would actually mean you have to do what men have to do, and women don't actually want that. Women want to pick and choose the bits of equality, so that's not equality. That's more like that. They want that dictatorship, because the women pick and choose the bits of that they want to do. No one really wants to be equal with men. They just want to have the best parts of being a man and with all the benefits of being a woman. Because in reality, man, it's not easy being a man, and definitely women don't want that. You know. So, talk to me about. I want to talk about your is it political? Your political aspirations. What have you got coming on at the moment?
Okay, so basically, I, along with 21 other pro-lifers around the country, are standing in the general election because we believe so much in the power of these images. I don't know if you can show any of the images, even the living babies, but it was on the thumbnail anyway, wasn't it? But yeah,
I hate those
the images, as I say, humanize the baby. Now I'm just talking about the living ones, right? I wish I had one on.
I thought you'd been sitting there with all your leaflets.
I'm talking about. I'm just trying to. I'm just showing living, right? This is an 8-week living embryo, right? At 8 weeks, that baby can be aborted by pills sent to a woman's post. At 8 weeks, that child has
was that the one that you
90%
flushed
of the
out
same
in the toilet?
human body. Yeah, they can flush that down the toilet. Obviously, sorry, I'm trying to get this. The size is like 4 centimeters, and so yeah, so these, we hear words like it's just a clump of cells. You know, it's just gentle. The abortion industry, or the BPAS or Mary Stopes, they describe it as, you know, gentle suction that removes the pregnancy. So they're calling this a pregnancy. And if that's not dehumanizing language, I don't know what is. Or they call it pregnancy tissue, right? You can see the fingers, you can see the toes, you can see the eyes, you know? And so we have posted these through doors before as CBR UK. Now, independently of my day job, I am running as a candidate in Walthamstow, and basically, as candidates, we get to post leaflets through every door in the constituency. So that is around 40 to 50,000 leaflets we get to post through doors. The Royal Mail will post that for us. And so we have got this 6-week living, this is a 6-week actually on the front,
that's
and
nice.
just scientific facts and just kind of explaining a little bit what's happening.
You're having your morning breakfast, you go grab the milk quickly, just go for your cereal and just, 4 centimeter embryo, flesh, pregnancy flesh tissue. That's what you said it was.
This is happening in our, this is happening in our nation, so people need to be aware of it. But this is a living. So, but what's interesting that people find this offensive. You know, the MP herself, the former MP of Walthamstow, has called this CRAP, and it's a living baby. So people are getting triggered by a living baby. It's not even an aborted baby; it's a living baby. You can see this in the science.
Because you're probably showing some people that aborted their babies. So. Like you're probably showing,
and we're also reaching out. So the other thing we're doing, we're calling for babies to be protected in the law. We are calling for support. We want to see, you know, women supported in challenging pregnancies, and we want to start the discussion about women who have been deceived by the abortion industry, reparations for them, because there's as I said, there's a lot of women facing.
So now you want reparation. Listen. I'm gonna be real. Black people have been fighting for reparations so long that we ain't gonna get me here. So you with this year, I don't feel like
who did the comparison then? That was you.
No, do you know why? Because you said reparations, and I just said, do you know, I did a comparison because I'm like, why you're trying to steal? I feel like you're trying to steal the black people's flow, like not even the black people, like the. Is it the F? Is it the F?
You owns the word reparation.
FBA, foundational black. What's it? Foundational Black Americans or what? FBA. I feel like you're trying to steal the FBA man them's whole manifesto. That's what they're about. Like, you know what I mean? They need the reparations for the, you know what I mean? Hey Doug, am I right here? Am I right or am I wrong? I feel like that's the rhetoric. She's like, now we need reparations for our dead babies. Is that how you feel?
Yep.
Is that how you feel? Yeah, shout out to Move with the Meaning. He says, yeah, I just know Amazon FBA, mate. Nah, you're getting bread, man. If you know Amazon FBA, you're getting bread with that. Yeah, no, it's foundational Black Americans. They what necessarily they believe is they were there originally, and they built. You know, they were there. They weren't slaves. They were found in America's founding father. Because you know, there was people in America before they went there, right? There was people there, right? No, there wasn't just Indians there. There was obviously there was American Indians, but there was other people there as well, and there was black people there as well. So they say they didn't come from Africa. They're not part of the slave trade, to be fair. But yeah, so FBA. Everyone on TikTok, shout out to everyone on TikTok, guys. We're streaming live on YouTube, and if you haven't, you're not going to be able to see the guest here. We're having a conversation today about abortion, and yeah, it's a good conversation. We've got Ruth here, and she's very passionate about it, as you clearly see, and yeah. So make sure you keep liking the videos on both, liking the stream on YouTube and liking the stream on TikTok. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the link in the bio and you go straight through there.
So we're getting these images out to over 1 million homes around the UK.
1 million?
Over 1 million homes. As I said, there's 22 candidates like myself.
Who funds you? Who funds you?
We've all got our own fundraisers. So if you go to my page at Ruth_Rawlins, you'll see my fundraiser. If you want to give a little 10, 20 pounds to help me reach my target. And you know, we've got a student. For example, we've got a student called Josh Morland, who is at Warwick University. This will be his first time voting, and he'll be voting for himself. And he's standing as a candidate because he cares deeply about this. We've got a pensioner, a lady in her 70s, who is standing up in Hull against one of the most pro-abortion MPs up there, Diana Johnson, who wants to legalize abortion all the way up to birth. So we have 22 candidates standing all around the country, and we want to make abortion a voting issue. Because, you know, it doesn't really get spoken about. We hear all about the NHS, we hear about immigration, we hear about, you know, the economy, but what of the greatest injustice happening in our day, you know? So we are making it an issue.
The greatest injustice, that's when you lose me, Ruth, man. I'm with you.
What's the greatest injustice of our day, China?
What's
the greatest injustice? I'm talking, if you're just talking numerically, I've already told you the statistics. Abortion is the biggest cause of death. You come back, please come back. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. I'm not. You know what this feels like? This feels like when they. Do you remember when Boris Johnson and them man they used to stand and give the meat in the COVID and they used to just throw bare numbers? This feels like that. It does. It feels like it does.
Yeah, but except that was a lot of brainwashing, and this is by the establishment. By the establishment, I'm giving you real. These numbers I'm giving you are from.
I can accept the numbers, but you want me to.
But you have a problem with it because you don't see them as equal in value. That's it.
I don't have a problem with the numbers, but you want me to. But
you don't see these. You don't see them as equal human beings to you and I. So that's why it's a bit outrageous that I should say this is the biggest.
Listen. I see the woman as an equal human being to me, innit? Yeah, like so. I'm saying to you, can I ask you a question? Like you. I see the woman as an equal human being to me. I see the woman as an equal human being to me.
And the child?
See, we're talking about a fetus, a tiny little.
The size give us value. Embryo. Wait.
Hold on.
Sorry, I can't.
Yeah, like. We're talking about, remember, we're talking about early stages, right? We're not talking about when I'm talking about that thing. You want me to, if
I compare a newborn baby, if I put a newborn baby next to you, right? That newborn baby is a lot smaller than you. Is that newborn baby less valuable than you because it's smaller than you?
No, I believe, I believe that
it's tiny. It's about that small. Look how big you are. You're so.
Let me give you a better scenario. if there was me and that newborn baby and we were stuck in the house and it was smoking, whatever, you would go get the newborn baby first.
Why?
Because that newborn, I've lived my life in it, yeah, and I've lived my life, and that newborn baby has more life to give. So on that aspect, yes, if
it's more vulnerable. It can't save itself, right?
Yeah, it can't.
You just made a very pro-life argument then.
Yeah, it's alive. Yeah, the baby's alive because it's breathing. I can hear it crying.
Yeah, it's got its whole life ahead of it. Same as the baby in the womb.
No, the baby in the womb has got its whole life. It's not. Listen, I'm telling you something. I can hear the baby.
Its whole life ahead of it.
Yeah, I know, but the baby's not crying. It look. If you put that out now, it's not gonna survive. It looks like. To be fair, when you show me that, you know, it reminds me of. I'm gonna be honest, aliens. I'm gonna keep it real. When it pops out, and not even the new aliens. The original one was Sigourney Weaver. So you're trying to make it. It doesn't give me any feelings of you know. It feels this like it doesn't. So you're doing the wrong images. I'm being honest with you.
But let me say, it's because you're not used to seeing an 8-week baby, right? You're used to seeing, these images are quite new. You're used to seeing, because these are, you know, real photographs from inside the womb. They use the same technology as NASA.
Come on.
It's not like animation. So we're not used to seeing, but that's what an 8-week embryo in the womb is supposed to look like. You're just not used to seeing it. That's why it looks alien-like to you.
It looks alien.
Because you're not used to seeing it.
You're trying, I don't know what you're trying to do.
That's what I'm just trying to find out.
What are you trying to find out? What are you trying to find out for me, Ruth? Tell me. What are you trying to find out?
I'm trying to find out where you feel where human beings have value and where some human beings don't.
So, first of all, it's not a human being right now. So, although I believe life brings at conception, it's not a human being yet. It's not a human.
Hold on, that's a contradiction right there.
No, life begins, but it's not human.
Life begins at conception, but it's not a human being yet.
Yeah.
So what? No, human life.
No,
human life begins.
It's the seed of life. Life. To be fair with you, life begins in the sperm, really. So you can say all the times when you girls are busting, get me, necking man, get me. So I'm saying to you, like, you're just out there taking bare life, millions of lives. So in reality, the sperm is life.
It's not. It's a human part. It's not. It's not a whole.
No.
If a sperm is on the if a sperm is on the floor, it will die. If a sperm inside a woman, it's gonna die unless it's fertilized.
I don't look at it like that. I look at it like a sperm is life because I created it. You get me? So here's the thing, but you're not gonna see that now. You know, like, because it doesn't fit in with your creation theory.
With science,
because it doesn't. So what's happening is, because I believe that actually the sperm is the life. That's why I told the man, them don't give her the life.
I don't believe in relativism. But
you don't have to. So but technically, because it's all the same. It's all the same. Because you want me to feel the same for that. I feel the same for that as I feel for sperm. And man will bust that.
Oof. You feel the same for this?
Yeah.
As you feel for sperm?
Because you're blowing it up and you push it on the screen, and that's not remember, they're trying to make that out that that's a big baby. That's not. If that was, I would, come on. You're talking about the first life part. You're talking that you're pushing it closer. That's what you're talking. You're not talking about.
I'm just so you can see it. That's why I'm pushing it closer so you can see it.
Not even 4 weeks. 4 weeks. That's a baby. Like 4 weeks is a baby, right? Isn't it?
Well, human life starts at conception. So, but we can call it baby. We can call it embryo. These are just stages of development, right? It's the embryo. Then at 9 weeks, we use fetus. When it's born, we might use baby. Then we use toddler. Then we use, child, teenager, adult. These are stages of development. They don't tell us about our level of value.
China, you would look like that once you were on an embryo, but having been allowed to grow, you are here today. I know, and that is thank you to my parents for allowing me to grow and becoming, I appreciate it. I hope I'm not letting you down. So, but I mean, the multiverse theory means it doesn't matter anyway. If I wasn't born in this thing, I'll be born in a different dimension.
Do you have a faith, Jonah?
Huh?
Do you have a faith?
Do I have a faith? I was raised in the church. I went to Roman Catholic school. I live my life probably
Catholic.
more to the I live my life. To be fair, I live my life by the teachings of the church. To be fair.
Which church? The Catholic Church.
Yeah, apart from all that funny stuff. Yeah. But yeah,
Do you believe the Bible?
Yeah.
Do you believe the Bible to be the word of God?
Yeah.
So is that your highest authority?
Well, God.
The word of God.
Not the Bible. God. The Bible isn't my highest. God is my highest authority, but not the actual. No.
How do you know what God thinks? How do you know what God thinks? Or should I say what his standards are? How do you know what God's standards are?
It's the moral compass, isn't it? Really, isn't it?
It's written in you. Why? Because you're made in His image, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe you're made in the image of God?
Yeah, I do. I believe. I believe the original man. I believe the original man looked just like me as well.
Just
what
exactly
do you do
like
with a bitter baby mom? Nothing. You let them go. No bitter baby moms. You just dash them away. Go on. Wait, I feel like you're cooking.
And is every human being created in the image of God? Every human being.
Yeah.
And if it's created, at what point does it bear the image of God? Did you just bear the image of God when you were 5?
No, when I was born.
So the 9 months you were growing in your mother's womb. The 9 months you were growing in your mother's womb.
Yeah.
If you believe the scriptures, it says that
God
knit you together.
I know, yeah.
God knit you together, and it also says that Jesus. Do you believe in Jesus? Do you believe in Jesus?
I do.
So in the Gospels, it says that when Mary was pregnant with Jesus, she went to her cousin Elizabeth, who had John the Baptist in her womb. These were babies, very young, right? Actually, John the Baptist was older, but Jesus was very, very, very young, because it said that she went with haste after Jesus was conceived, right?
Yeah.
And John the Baptist leapt in the womb in the presence of Jesus. These are in the womb, China. Jesus Christ, he didn't come born. He came into Mary's womb.
So what are you saying?
John the Baptist in Elizabeth's womb leapt. The Bible tells us that leapt at the presence of Jesus. But you're saying that babies in the womb are not made in the image of God yet.
No, but we spoke about. No, but you keep changing it. You're changing the stages. I talked about the early stage. I talked about you're talking.
No, I just asked you when are we made in the image of God? You said when from the time we're born. So that's why I came with that.
Okay, cool. No, I meant as if like, no, I know in the Bible scriptures God knew what's in there, so I get it. But I'm saying.
Isn't it phenomenal? Isn't it phenomenal? Phenomenal that Jesus Christ, he could have just been born, but he came. He was conceived by the Holy Spirit. No man was involved. That will never happen again, right? But he was born. Jesus Christ, our Savior, if you consider him your Savior, was conceived.
I do. Jesus is my Savior. Jesus, come save. Wait, I feel I need to get a charger for my other phone. Give me a second. Wait, I feel like your scripture. I get what you're doing. I do. But at the same time,
you're resisting truth.
I'm not resisting the truth. But you want me to feel something that Like, how am I supposed to feel?
I'm just speaking. I'm just speaking.
No,
You
but
can take it or
in
leave
order
it.
for me, in order for
You
me
can
to,
take it or leave it.
no, I can take it, but in order for me to, you have to give me something where I feel as if that it, yeah, I don't know, it's not connecting for me. Why not?
It's not just for you. This is for your viewers as well. So hey, maybe it's connecting with your viewers.
No, it will connect. It's when it goes live, it'll connect with, like, after it'll connect with more people, and I'll put it into clips anyway. And I want you to, you know, to I just think, I think you're fighting somewhat a battle here. Give me a second. You are fighting somewhat a battle. Give me a second. You are fighting somewhat a battle.
For the people who are still watching, you can go to abortionreality.com and see the reality of abortion for yourself. That's what we're talking about, because at the end of the day, until we see it, it can just be an abstract concept. So I would encourage you, before you make a decision on your position, and especially before you make a decision if you're considering abortion, to go to abortionreality.com, and you can see exactly what we're talking about here. And that also leads to our website, where you can also see the humanity of the babies. And, you know, just look around the website, because you'll find a lot of interesting information there that can help you think through the topic with the facts.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I kind of look at things like, I hear you. I hear you. I do. I promise you, I do. I hear you. But at the same time, I don't know. I'll keep it 100 with you. I'm keeping it real. So what's the plans now? So you was talking about your about the campaigning they got going on.
I was just telling the viewers where they can find the reality of abortion. And
okay, tell them.
You're not able to show a video. You're able to show a video.
What video do you want?
No, I mean, can you show the Change Mind video?
What is that? Nah, yeah. Let me. Yeah,
the one where we show. There's no.
What I want to do is, no, I'm not going to scream it just because I showed something the other day and I got hit with something on YouTube. Okay. So I just want to just be a little bit careful, innit? I'll just be a bit careful. Because, you know, she's like, you're trying to censor me. I'm not censoring you. We're not censoring you. I promise you, we're not censoring you. We're just not letting you show your video. That's it. No, she's like, so what made you decide to do this? Why? What's your why? Tell me your why.
The burden.
Have you had an
my
abortion?
Why is no, I haven't actually. I had my daughter at university. I got pregnant at university, but for me, it wasn't an option because of how I've been raised. So I was aware that abortion kills a human being. So I was aware.
Were you in a relationship?
For me.
Were you in a relationship? Was he a partner? Was he a boyfriend?
Yeah, sort of. I was young. I was at uni.
I mean, that was 21, right? 18, 21. How old was you at uni?
Yeah, 21, 22. I had my daughter at 23.
That's not
and
young.
I've just come full circle now because I've just sent her to.
So you wasn't a church girl. You wasn't Christian those times there.
I was a backslidden Christian. I grew up in the church, and I grew up in the church, and I thought the grass was green on the other side, but it wasn't.
Did you? So what did you get? Did you get naughty? Did you go bad? Huh?
Well, I got pregnant, but yeah. So I have my daughter, and I guess it's just although she wasn't the reason, she is that I do this work. It keeps me going as well, because I've also got friends, you know, who didn't have that knowledge that I had, and you know, maybe their parent might have said, you know, don't bring no illegitimate children into this family, or they just weren't aware, or they were pressured by the boyfriend, you know. So, and they're, you know, and they have to live with the reality that they aborted their babies, and you know, praise God, they have been healed, but you know, there's still that loss there. So I do thank God that, you know, I had that, I knew the truth, and that's why I guess that's another reason why it's so important for me to educate other people, because this is life and death, and these images and education for people to know that abortion isn't just a healthcare procedure that will help solve your problem. It is going to take your child, and I need people to know that. At the end of the day, I can't change people's minds, but I can at least inform them of the truth and help them to make an informed decision, because it's nothing worse than standing outside, you know, an abortion clinic or in a city centre and having a woman come up with tears in her eyes, pointing at a banner, the image saying, I didn't know it had fingers, I didn't know it had toes. If I knew that, my child would be here today. That's why I do what I do.
I believe it's a good thing that I believe it's good you do what you do. We need people like you. You need people that are gonna, like, because even if you make someone think twice about it, and someone that would have done it, like, you know, if someone's gonna do something, they're gonna do something. But I believe people should be as well informed as they do something, because that's something that you can't ever go back from, you know.
And we should all surely agree with that people should be informed, you know, even of the truth, of the facts. Even, you know, many pro-choice people would say that. But we trust. I trust that I don't trust in humanity. I trust in God, that we can see an end to this injustice if we keep exposing it. And the reason I bring up other social injustices in history is because we've studied them. We've studied how other social injustices have been overcome, and all that they had to first expose the injustice. You can't end an injustice by covering it up.
Can I tell you one of the problems that you have? See,
go ahead.
You have a problem is that this country is not a Christian country. Like, it is like, historically it's a Roman Catholic country, but where we are now, they don't promote that. You only get that in secular schools. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So one of the problems that you have is you're trying to big up Chelsea. I see you. I don't even know what. Oh, big up Chelsea. What's going on? Shout out to my favorite baby mom, Chelsea. Big you up. It's like, so what was I saying? I just got distracted. Sorry. I'm paying.
You said that the problem we'll have is that it's not a Christian country.
Yeah, it's not a Christian country, right? And the values that you speak of, like you see in America, they're very, you know, God, and you hear the president talk about God, but you never hear our politicians, you know, invoke God and nothing like that. So if you was if you was in a different country, you wouldn't, you know, that was heavily, you know, that religion played a forefront of it. You wouldn't be dealing with some of the issues that you're dealing now. Obviously, there's going to be certain parts of the world it's going to be more prevalent and why not. But what you're dealing with a cultural shift, and that's really what you battle.
Yep.
You battle a cultural shift. Same with the things that I speak about when I speak about, you know, traditional women and men and what we should be doing. A lot of times you're battling a cultural shift, and that's really where the battleground is. The fact that it's a cultural shift.
But you still keep going, right? I said you still keep going despite opposition.
I just got here. I'm just you said you've been 10 years deep, man. I just got here. I'll be tired already. But no, you said you're 10 years deep. You know, like you said you're 10 years deep. So,
in relation to the Christianity bit, again, when we're dealing with the public, I'm obviously declaring where I stand and where my worldview comes from. But when we deal with the public, we speak in human rights, right? And people understand the language of human rights. And you know, you don't have to be a Christian or of a faith to see that it's wrong to kill innocent human beings. People have held that view throughout history. And I mean, ultimately, I believe that actually it is because of the word of God that we know that it's wrong to kill, and because we're made in His image, that actually is written on our hearts anyway. But so yeah, so we speak the language of the people who's in front of us. But when it comes to value now, that's the question that I think we can't really discuss without bringing God into it, because any atheistic society can't tell us where value comes from, right? I believe that value comes from God. God gives us our value.
God does give us value. God gives us value. God does give us value.
Have you lost me?
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Sorry, I just switched screen. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. I just think that because I know it's a culture shift, and I know at the back of this is just women want to have an ace in their back pocket, and that's where it really comes down to. Because just like with OF, when the founders in 2020, the founders wanted to shut down OF, the whole world campaigned against them, rallied against them, said, no, you've got to send women back into the dark ages with the page we control. So sometimes even the people they can't stop it because people want it so bad.
People want what? Abortion.
Yeah. So the women want it, and even if you try to stop it, if I said we could outlaw abortion tomorrow, the women wouldn't. They would be up in arms. So your battle is not men; it's women. Men may pass the laws, but the women.
It's really not. It's not really. It's not like that. It's not men against women. It's really not. When you look at pro-life,
who's the one aborting the babies?
You look at pro-life. But just look at the media. Like you see, just look at like the media. You see men who are pro-abortion. You see men who are pro-life. You see women who are pro-abortion. You see women who are pro-life. It's really not a male-female divide. It's really not. That's what the media will have us believe, and that's what. And this is where I know you're quite hot on the male-female thing, but this is where I'm going to be completely honest with you. I think I think is so like weak when you see men. Oh, I can't have an opinion because I'm a man. I'm not allowed to have an opinion on abortion.
You know, I'll never say that. That's not me, man. You know, that's not me.
But you've heard it, right? You've heard it, right?
I hate it
because, and that's like the deepest. But that's like the deepest, like form of, I don't even know the words, but it's of feminism or whatever. But yeah, it's just, and it's the men are putting that even on themselves. It's just all these narratives online that are just brainwashing people. But yeah, like there's so many men that are standing up for babies, and typically throughout history, men defend women and children, right? And that's why this whole narrative, which I believe is at the end of the day is a satanic narrative, is trying to silence men to not have a view on this issue, and to make them think that, oh, we have to side with women. How can we? It's a woman's body. How can I say anything? it's like this is the issue of defending women and children and the men, and a lot of the men have been silenced. So, you know, I have the deepest respect for men that will stand up and defend women and children, and this is the ultimate cause.
Yeah, like that's me. Like I understand what it comes with, and I defend women. I'm a supporter of women. Like people don't understand. Being a supporter of women doesn't mean you agree with everything and you just let them on you. And this is where a lot of women want, what they want is they want yes men, but we can't be that because women don't respect men that do that anyway. Do you understand? So I respect you for it's just that this is not, if I felt passionate about this, I would be doing what you're doing. Don't get this twisted. But I believe what
I'm not trying to persuade you to do. I'm honestly not trying to persuade you to do what I'm doing. I don't
think you're.
I just sense, if I'm being completely honest with you, if you want this to be a completely honest, like, I just sense a little bit of brainwashing. I sense a little bit of brainwashing on you, and I sense apathy. That's what I'm seeing.
I could do apathy, not brainwashing though. Not brainwashing. It's all right. Say. I don't.
You're using a lot of their language. You're using a lot of their language.
What's their language? A woman has the right to choose. But I do though. I do. I believe.
So you're contradicting yourself.
What? How am I contradicting? Like,
a woman's right to choose to delete her baby.
Two things can be the same, and two things can be the same, and it can be different at the same time. You get me? So I'm saying to you. So, like, what you want to do is you want to be like, I'll be like, I believe a woman has the right to choose her body, and then you be like, no, say the word. You believe a woman has the right to delete her baby. Go and say it. And I'll be like,
yeah, because I believe, and I will. You know, we use analogies, right? Because it helps explain a situation, and I will take it back to the transatlantic slave trade. I believe, you know, when someone says, "I believe,"
can you leave my people alone, please? Like, why you keep getting onto my people for? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't understand. Like, you're gonna keep losing me every time you say, because you're trying to make me feel like, no. Well, I get it. I get it. 45 million a year. I get it. The kids are going. The kids are disappearing. I get it. They're not even getting a chance to. I get it. But go speak to the women, man. Why are you not speaking to the women? To these women that are killing their kids? Let me tell you this one. Women are serial killers. Some of you women are out here serial killing your babies. Like you're out here serial killing your kids. Like, so I'm saying. So you need to take it to the women that are out there that are using abortion as a contraceptive. Like abortion is not a contraceptive, guys. I don't know who I need to tell this to. Abortion is not a contraceptive. You don't add it to your list of like your plan B and your birth control. But like, you know what? Just in case it gets a bit messy, I can go and just do. No, like that's what I'm advocating for. A bit of sexual discipline, Ruth. That's all. Like, what's up?
So it's okay to kill one, but not 2, 3, 4.
See,
one is all right.
I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. Like, you have hard work. You're gonna have tough work because you know, yeah, you're gonna have a bit of a tough work, man. You got your work cut out for you, man. You really have, because
we've people on the street. Some are very soft-hearted, and some are very. You just present them the facts that they've never seen before or heard before, and some will change their minds. Not everyone will. It's all good. It's not good because babies are dying, but we still believe that we will see an end to this injustice.
But nobody. But what? So what do you want to happen? What is your idea? What do you want the law to do? Do you want to outlaw abortion?
So we want to see, babies protected under the law, so that it's no longer legal to kill babies.
Let's not delete, please delete.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's all So you want to, so yeah, all right, cool. I just wanted to get to it. I was like, what do you really want? Like, what is it that you want?
Yeah. As I said, and as I'm running as a candidate, is to see babies protected under law, to see women supported in challenging pregnancies, and to start that discussion for reparations for women harmed by the abortion industry.
How much money do you want in reparations? How much is it?
That's the discussion that's got to be had. That's the discussion that needs to be had.
I mean, you're talking reparations and you got a rough ballpark figure.
That's a discussion that would need to be had. By,
how would it be? How would it be distributed?
I'm talking like a politician, aren't I? But that's a discussion that would need to be had.
See, I hate you politicians. Not really, but so I'm saying to you, it's like you are talking like a politician. I don't like politicians talking on here.
No, I'm just saying that it's a discussion that needs to be had because we believe. I honestly believe that there is that women have been deceived because the abortion clinic doesn't say, "Come on, women, come and kill your babies." Sorry, delete.
Wait,
your babies.
Andrew Stephen says, "How can you object to the comparison with the slave trade?" Easily, because it's not the same. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, no, it's not the same. Like,
but comparisons aren't equal. Like people make comparisons all the time, but comparison doesn't have to be.
No, but then if you make an analogy, I'm gonna say that's a terrible analogy or comparison. Doesn't make sense. So
are you being emotional?
I'm not. No, I'm not being emotional. Like you can't compare. You can say the numbers, yeah, but you can, and you know, you're talking about unborn, all these types of stuff. Painless versus people. I don't even want to get into the pain of slavery. Like, do you really understand what the the transatlantic slave trade was? Do you really understand it? Do you really understand?
Yeah, we studied it. As an organisation, we've studied it.
So if you studied it, horrific. How can you then make if you
China? What I'm doing?
Wait, hold on. Wait. If you're gonna make a comparison and you want to stick it and you want to own it, then we're gonna have to cook it up a little bit. So if you want to make the comparison to the transatlantic slave trade to fetuses being aborted, okay, you want to do that. All right. So what do you do when you do that? What do you do when you do that? You strip us. You strip us of all the. I mean, I'm not. I don't come from slave. I don't have slave blood. That's not me. But it's not about me. It's about what's bigger than me. Okay, like it's what's bigger than me. They're not like us. You know, it's bigger than me, right? So you can make the comparison. It's fine. Anyone can make any comparison that you want to do. But if you make the comparison to the transatlantic slave trade with abortion, then you have to be ready to own it and back it up. And then you're going to get a lot of black people that are going to say to you, hold on a second, no, it's not the same. And it's and you just got to be prepared to be like, yeah, cool, and just back it. And I can tell you all the reasons why it's not the same. Like, you know what I mean? Like
go ahead.
Do you know about the butt breaking? Do you know what butt breaking was?
Explain.
Okay, so you didn't study it. And when I say you studied it, you've studied it probably from a white level.
Explain the concept.
I'm gonna explain it, but you said a lot, so I have to do it how I normally do it. So you didn't study it, because if you can't even tell me what butt breaking is, you didn't study it. Butt breaking. Let me tell you what butt breaking is. This is what they practice on places like Jamaica. This is one of the things that they did. So butt breaking, they would pick the strongest, the biggest, strongest black man, and what they would do in front of all of these people, they would sodomize them and grape him in front of people, okay? Because when you do that, you break his spirit. And they will repeatedly do this. This is just one of the things that they would do. Just one of the things. What I'm going to talk about, okay, let's talk about exporting the slaves or transporting the slaves. Have you ever heard about, I want to get down to the nitty gritty. Have you heard of that saying?
Yes, I have heard of nitty-gritty.
Do you know where that comes from?
Go ahead.
You don't, because you didn't study it. So nitty-gritty, what it actually means is the slaves were so packed, they were so tightly packed and jammed together that their skin started to attach itself to each other, okay? One of the things that will happen in it, yeah? So the nitty-gritty is essentially slave skin is peeling, all that type of stuff. We're going to do another thing. Picnic. Have you heard of say picnic?
Go ahead.
We're gonna go for picnic. You know where that comes from? To go out. Okay, let me tell you what it was. Let me tell you, to go and pick a nigga. Picnic, pick a nigga, picnic. You never knew that, did you? You see,
dehumanizing language. That was dehumanizing language.
No, but what I'm trying to say to you is this, isn't it? When you say something, you're gonna have to understand. You're gonna get people that are going to challenge what you're going to say, and then it's going to bring disrepute to what you're saying. You can have a very good argument about abortion and saving children, all of that stuff, without picking another atrocity from humanity to compare it to. Because when you do, you're going to get people that are going to challenge you more than what you're doing, and then you're like, so I'm saying to you is, you do what you're doing, but if you want to start picking slavery as something to compare it to, you're going to get people that are going to push back, and then I think that's where you're going to get more of a problem from. That's what I'm saying.
And so can I just come back now on what you said?
Of course you can.
Yeah. So you just gave examples of horrific, atrocities that happened to the people, right? African people who were stolen and taken to the Americas, Caribbean, whatever. And but in the same way, babies, not in the same way, in a dehumanizing way.
Yeah.
I can sit here and list. Do you know what happens in late-term abortion? Do you know what happens in a late-term abortion?
Tell us, for the benefit of the stream. Tell us what happens, please.
Okay, am I allowed to use the language? Okay, so they basically, the woman, they inject into the womb and into the baby. They inject it with saline, and then they have to crush the baby's head.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
So we're talking about a crushing of a baby's head. We're talking about at 20 late term, 24 months, 24 weeks, sorry. So that's 6 months. Can you visualize what a 6-month baby looks like? Let me show you. Here we go. There, it's a living one. It's not aborted. But people are probably used to seeing, because they survive outside the womb anyway. So they literally have to put the forceps in and crush the baby's skull and rip the baby out, and the woman has to give birth to that baby. There's also D and E, dilation evacuation abortions, where they have to rip the babies out piece by piece, and then they have to arrange the body parts. So the head, the torso, the arms, the legs, which they've ripped apart piece by piece. They have to make sure there's no body part left inside. This is decapitation. This is, torture. Some of these babies feel pain. They feel pain. These babies are tortured to death, and you want to say it's not fair to compare. The only way you can say it's not fair is as if you're feeling that I'm minimizing the pain of a different people. But it's not about minimizing the pain of another people group. It's about you minimizing the pain of the babies. Because you've sat there, and yes, I am. You've sat there all apathetic. Let the women, have their right to choose. But we're talking about crushing of babies' skulls and sucking their body parts out, and you want to minimize that, and then point the finger at me minimizing atrocities that happen to Africans.
Yeah, I do.
People are people. We shouldn't be crushing. It's not exactly the same. No two injustices are exactly the same.
What you don't think?
Babies are ripped apart.
What do you mean they burnt black people? What you talk? They threw black people off the ships. Like, you're right.
Babies are ripped apart, and if you want to minimize that, you can minimize that.
I'm not minimizing it, but you want to minimize. You want to minimize.
I'm not minimizing that. I'm not minimizing that.
What do you mean? You want to minimize displacement?
Who's minimizing? Because I'm not sitting here saying what they suffered was.
Because you made a comparison. You could have. Do you know what
How
it is?
am I minimizing
your argument. No, do you know what it is? Because your argument doesn't hold up without using a comparison against. Why are you mentioning black people for? And you didn't. You could have had a good argument without doing it, but you're trying to use another person, another people, minority, people's atrocities to compare it to yours. And when it doesn't. when it doesn't match
comparison
up, or when the people
is that these atrocities were legal.
We say
these atrocities were legal. That's what's so outrageous,
it's not about
right?
it being legal.
Is that
It's
both
not about it
atrocities
being legal.
are legal?
This is about it's not about it being legal. It's about it not being born. It's life. It's inside the body, but it's not about it being legal.
And it was morally justified. It was morally justified at the time by a group of people.
What do you mean?
And abortion
it's not
is
about
morally
whether or not it's morally justified or
today.
not. It's just that.
That's the comparison.
You're trying. Well, you can make the comparison if you want. You can.
Because
And this is the thing. Anyone can make any comparison what they want to do, but the problem is when the comparisons don't match, is you're gonna lose people, and then they're like, she's trying to compare abortion to slavery. Yeah, that's it. And in that moment, all that work you're trying to do, all those leaflets you're trying to hand out, you're just gonna that's it. People just turn off because they'll be like, because you have a good argument.
Not everyone does, China.
I'm not saying
because you're getting in your emotions. Because you're getting in your emotions, you may.
I'm not emotional.
You may.
There's nothing to be emotional about.
Not everyone does.
I'm not a slave. I was never a slave. I don't have slavery in my blood. My dad's a chief, so I'm not emotional. But one thing I do know is black people are emotional, extremely. So what's going to happen is when you go out there and you say abortion is like slavery, watch what's going to happen to you. So it's not me. I was never a slave. I don't have slavery in my blood. My father's a chief. I don't. But what I do know is black people, and being a white woman as well, speaking of black issues, is one of the easiest ways to just destroy yourself. It really is. And if you want to discover it, I dare you to go and do this. You know what? Furthermore, it's not. You know what it is? It's not even that. It's because we're on a live, right? And the live afterwards will get clipped up, okay? And then it's gonna have a white woman saying that abortion is the same as slavery, saying it to me. And you know what's gonna happen?
I never said the same.
No.
See,
okay, it's gonna be whatever you.
You can clip me up however you want.
No, I'm not gonna clip you. Listen, I can't clip anything. Listen, you're missing what I'm trying to say to you. Please don't overtalk me, please. You're missing what I'm trying to say to you. I'm saying to you is, whatever narrative you're trying to push or say, or analogies or comparisons you've made, okay, you've made it with black people and slavery, right? And I'm a black person, okay? I know what they don't want to hear from. And the reason I'm saying it to you, because you're taking a precarious decision or error to go down. You can do whatever you want. It's your narrative and it's your speech. But I am telling you something. When you start mentioning black issues and you're white, it's never going to go down well. And specifically on social media, when you open up to a wider demographic.
I'm talking about human issues. I'm talking about.
Listen. Remember what you're doing. See, you're not speaking to me. I get you. But this is not about me. You're talking through me. After this goes on live and in socials, and you got to remember, it's not about clipping it up. You made a comparison. You might have some reasons why you feel you can make that comparison. That's up to you. That's cool. But the moment a white woman is speaking on black issues and making that comparison, you're going to get pushback. And it's not going to come from me because I don't care. After this live, do you get me? I don't care. But I'm saying to you is when you go into, you got to be careful. And whether or not you choose to listen to me or not, this reminds me of? This reminds me of scenario of Pearl. And I gave her some advice. And Pearl's my people. Pearl's my people. But I gave her some advice. And she didn't listen to me. And we all see how that ended. Do you understand? Because I know what I'm talking about. I literally know what I'm talking. I do this and you don't want to be and this is what I will say. A lot of black men won't say it. As a white woman, even if you support black issues, you support it from behind. It doesn't matter if you've got a black man. It doesn't matter if you've got mixed race kids. I'm not saying you do. I'm just saying a lot of times they won't understand that if you want to be an ally, you
China, I came to talk about abortion. You're the one that's making it about something else.
No, you came to talk about abortion. No, but if you wanted to talk about abortion, you shouldn't have mentioned black people. I'm giving you some education. And this is the thing, you have to listen. This is what Pearl did. You have to listen. I'm giving you some education.
You're comparing me to...
If you speak... Okay, cool. All right, you know what? And you know what it is? You know what it is?
It's been a long night, China. It's been a long night.
I'm just giving you some advice, innit? You spoke about transatlantic slavery, right, to a black person, and I'm trying to give you some advice, and you think that and this is, it's cool. It's all right. Because I'm literally about to give you some advice, but you know more. It's all right. I'm not gonna try to force it upon you. I was about to give you some advice, but you know more, right? Okay. I've just been black my whole life and surrounded by black men and black women. And one thing I will tell you, no black women want to see a white woman talking about trans. They don't want to see that. And if you do, you're about to open yourself up. And as long as you're ready for it, do you get me? Because Pearl Forge was ready for it, and what happened now? Like, you have to be careful when you speak about black people and their issues. And when a black man tries to advise you, you're not supposed to.
I'm here to talk about abortion. Like, you just can't.
But you spoke, but you made a comparison with black people, so you wasn't here to speak about
abortion. And I justified it, but you're going on and
you
on and on.
See, okay, sorry. You can't tell. No, you can't. You feel
I talked about the Holocaust.
No, I don't care. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Jewish. I'm African, right? So I don't care what you feel like you justified. And this is white fragility. You've said something, yeah, and now I pulled you up about it, and you don't want to be held up about it. And this is a problem when white people speak about black issues, because when we try to educate, you don't.
Joanna, I'm done. Of
course you're done. No,
we've been here 2 hours. Sorry.
No, because you can't do something like that. And I didn't ask you. I gave you multiple chances not to do it, and you chose to continue to double down. So because you did that, I'm going to say to you, actually, no, you can't speak. No, you can't do that. That's offensive. I find that very offensive.
So I'm coming onto your show. You're asking me questions. I'm making comparisons.
I never told you.
People do that. People do that all the time. People make comparisons to injustices.
And it was disrespectful. You made a comparison, and it was disrespectful.
Did I do it in a disrespectful way? I didn't do it.
You're refusing to be educated by an African. I've tried to repeatedly educate you on what you're saying and why it's disrespectful. But now you are choosing to. Now
yeah, but we can still disagree. I don't have to agree with you.
Hold on a second.
I don't have to agree with you, and you don't have to agree with me.
Hold on a second. You're a white woman speaking about black issues. You're not supposed to be doing that. And when a black man tells you. See, this is what you've done again. Why would you bring this up and your reluctancy to even understand what I'm trying to say? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's very disrespectful. Like it's and the reason why I'm telling you this is because I've seen this before. And this is what happens when you speak about a black issue. I've tried to educate you because we're on my platform, and you might have not known, and that's okay if you don't know. But now what I understand is you don't want to know. You want to double down. And you want to continuously try to push this rhetoric that abortion is the same as a transatlantic slavery, and there's so many parts to it.
You're putting words into it. At no point have I said same. I've talked about similarities.
I talked
about similarities.
I told you not to make the comparison.
For the purpose of the live, and for the purpose of what you might try and clip, I am saying that there are similarities between different injustices throughout history where human beings have been dehumanized. When you dehumanize a group of people in the language, it makes it easy to do what you want to them. That is my comparison.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
You don't have to accept it, but like. I'm not sitting here saying I'm educating you on white babies. Like I'm just coming to talk about my cause. That like I don't think that I have a right to educate you on white things.
I don't understand why.
Because I didn't make it about black and white.
But I don't understand.
You're the one that made it about that.
But I don't understand. No, you made it about that. You mentioned it. Did you not? Hold on a second.
I talked about injustice in history.
No,
and I believe that.
See. No, but you know what this is?
I'm trying to be respectful to you. I'm honestly trying.
You're being disrespectful. You're being incredibly disrespectful.
What have I said that's disrespectful?
You're being. You know what it is? You know, this is
to you.
This is no, because this is gaslighting in its finest. This is gaslighting in its finest. You know what it is? You know what it is? Is black people go through this all the time. I'm quite surprised I'm experiencing this because it shouldn't be this hard, but I understand what this is. I completely understand what this is. Whoever you can't have black people around you, and if you do, they've done. And I'm going to use Pearl as an example because they've done the exact same thing to you. Because you think like what you're saying is okay. Someone around you has made you think as if you can be on my platform and you can say this and it's going to be okay. Like you think it's going to make you look good. It's not. It's making you look terribly bad. Because what's happening now is I'm trying to educate you on something, okay? And you as a white woman think you know more about it than me, okay? There's no way I could be trying to speak to a Punjabi, a Tamil, to a to an Orthodox Jew, and trying to educate them more about them, and it will be anti-Semite. Do you understand? It will be racist. Do you understand? Because
you're the one that's made it about. You're the one that's made it about. I was talking about injustice.
No, you made a comparison. I tried to say, hold on, that's not a good comparison. I tried to tell you why, and you have doubled down repeatedly to let me know that you. No. What I'm saying is right. And you as a black person, it doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter.
That didn't come out my mouth. China, you're putting words in my mouth because at no point did I say you as a black
telling you what you've done.
You're making it about.
I didn't think it was going to go down. This is conversation about abortion. Why would you mention black people in slavery? Why would you do that?
I spoke about the transatlantic slave trade.
You think you can say whatever you want. That's what it is. Well, no, it really is. And it gets to me because...
You know what? Can I say something though? China, please feel free to talk about white British people. Please, go ahead. Tell me what you think about white British people, white British injustices. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. I'm just being honest with you. I don't mind.
I don't have to. The difference between me and you is I can make a very good argument without comparing it to white British people. Like I don't have to. See, because white British people is not my standard. I say this to black women all the time when they speak about black hair and they speak about but the white women. I said, when did white people become your standard of beauty? Sorry, because the white man is not my.
You're the one that's making everything.
No, I'm not. What you try to do is you try to say, because I mentioned black people, you can mention white people. I'm not going to mention white people because why would I do that? It doesn't make any sense. We're speaking about something. Why would I do that? So I'm showing you when you do that, it lets me know your argument doesn't have any weight to it because you're trying to ride across someone else's movement. I don't understand it. And rather than you understand what you said is offensive, it's not like I'm taking this up for the people that it's going to be very offensive to, right? And the fact that I don't even find it offensive. I find the fact that you choose not to be educated. I find that extremely offensive. I find that extremely offensive because you're not black and you spoke about something and I am, and I know about way more than you do. And I'm trying to tell you, and you're like, no, I'm right. That's racist. That's a joke. That's actually racism. You know that? I'm being real with you. That's racism. That's racism. No, I know more than you. You're black. You're educated. No, it doesn't matter. I know more than you. I'm white. It doesn't matter. That's racism.
You're literally, you're just speaking a soliloquy. I'm not even saying words. You're just putting words into my mouth that I haven't even said. So go ahead. We can see what your audience thinks. We can see what your audience thinks. Go ahead. It's fine.
I'm a black.
And then you're gonna say I'm gaslighting you. I came to talk about abortion. I came to talk about the babies.
If you came to talk about babies, you wouldn't mention black people. You wouldn't use black people. It happens all the time.
It happens all the time. But I spoke about the transatlantic slave trade. I didn't speak about all black people. I didn't speak about all. I spoke about the transatlantic slave trade. You're the one that's putting all black people into that.
No, hold on a second. You spoke about listen. I spoke about
this transatlantic slave trade as an example of another injustice. I spoke about the Holocaust. I gave two examples because these are the examples. Huh? Because I don't consider, because I don't know of a big injustice that happened to the Irish on a comparable scale. I don't know of if the Irish, if there's been a time in history where the Irish have been targeted for something about them and maybe they've been, brutalized, then educate me because I'm not aware of it.
My thing is this. It's not that it's you're trying to use black people to make comparisons, and I'm saying don't do that. As a black man, it's offensive. And you're telling me as a white woman, why is it offensive? I'm telling you, it doesn't matter why it's offensive. You're free to be offended. There's no right to not be offended. You're free to be offended. I'm telling you something why it's offensive to black people, okay? And you're telling me this is like the white people that want to say the N-word and they're like, why can't I say it? They could say it. It's the same thing. I'm telling you it's offensive. You're telling me why is it offensive? I don't have to explain to you. Hold on a second. If a Jew, let me tell you right now. If a Jewish person tells me, oh, what you're saying is anti-Semitic, and I asked them why is it, and they explained it to me. After that moment, if
You're
I
not allowed
choose
to challenge it.
no,
You're not
hold on
allowed
a
to
second.
challenge it because you're
No, but
anti-Semitic.
I'm not Jewish though. So why am I going to challenge?
So you have to listen. So you have to listen to a Jew's explanation.
Yes, I do. Yes, because
of why something that you said is anti-Semitic, even if you don't think you're anti-Semitic.
Do you know why? Because you're not Jewish and you don't know what you've done. So listen to him first. Yeah. No, because listen to him first, because you're not Jewish. You're not Jewish. You don't want to get education. You think you know it all. You're just being offensive to a Jewish person, and they've said to you, they're trying to educate you, and you're like, no. The first one is okay. Anyone can be, you know, you can be ignorant. After that, you're choosing, you're not ignorant now. You're too smart to be ignorant. You're too smart, you're too educated to be ignorant. So now I know you're purposely choosing to be disrespectful to black people and to compare the tribe. You're purposely choosing it because you're too smart. And why would you do that? I don't understand why you would do that. I don't understand it. But it's the same thing Pearl done. And where is she now? Like, they demonetized and so I'm saying to you, because for some reason you just don't want to.
Just because I'm a ginger head girl, you're comparing me to Pearl.
I didn't.
That's gingerist. That's gingerist.
No, it's not gingerist. It's because you're. No, do you know what it is? Because you're speaking like.
I'm just trying to lighten the mood because I didn't come on here. I know you love this.
No,
I know you love this.
I know
you love to create your clickbait moment.
If you want to lighten the mood, it's very simple. It's to understand what you said is offensive and to be like, I'm not going to be making those comparisons. It's very simple. If you don't, then it just proves to me, like, basically you're doing what she done. Do you get me? And I can tell you that on this clip, it's basically saying that you want to tell black people what to think and how to feel. And we're telling you, no, it's wrong. Yeah, because I'm telling you as a black. Listen. As a black person, today you're being.
I'm just being honest. I came to talk about the babies, and you're taking up a lot of.
Because I don't think you should be going out and making statements about your babies and no, I don't feel very comfortable about that now, because that was not the rhetoric. And then you came here and I tried nicely, and the more you double down, the more I'm like, actually, you know what? No, it's not okay.
If we disagree, I don't have to agree with you.
No, but
as much as I've been here trying to persuade you that these babies are human, you call this baby an alien, right? You know, people are going to look back in history, and that's going to be a slur that you called this baby a human being made in the image of a god, an alien.
I just called the baby a slur, man. This is why your movement's not gonna. You know why? This is why it's not gonna. This is the reason why. Because you don't actually understand it. You don't actually understand the game. You don't understand the game, because in actual fact, I'm watching this and I'm like, this is why your whole campaign, everything, all those million flyers that you're about to go and put out. You live in Walthamstow, a very high, like, as I'm saying to you, ethnic minority area. And what you're doing on here, anyone in your constituents that sees this, you're literally like, and that's why I say you don't understand it. You don't understand what you're doing. You don't understand what you're doing because you don't understand what you're doing. You really don't. You don't understand how badly you're representing right now. You don't. And I do this enough to tell you you're representing very badly, because this has just been about education and you refuse to be educated. So therefore, you are more into you, and you're a white woman as well, speaking on black issues. Remember that. The moment you do that, nobody wants to hear anything, and then after that they hear.
China, can I just say something? I came here to talk about the babies, and you just want to do all that you can to sidetrack it away from that.
No, you know what it is. You don't want no accountability.
Half an hour, or I don't even know how long it's been. We can look back afterwards, but you just
No, my thing is this.
If you don't want me on your show, I'm happy to leave now. If you've had enough, if you can't take what I'm saying,
I can't take it. Wait, hold on.
But you feel you're clearly offended. You're clearly offended.
I'm offended. See, and this is, guys.
But you're triggered and offended. And
if I'm offended by you saying racially insensitive things, but the fact that you know I'm offended and you're not choosing to recognize the offense.
What was it?
We said?
I'm not even offended by you calling this a baby, because I hear all that. By you calling this an alien. I'm not even. I think it's dehumanizing. But
what do you? So me calling that alien, that's as dehumanizing.
The thing is, China, I've been here. I've been here to try and talk about. You invited me onto your show, right?
Yeah.
You invited me
I didn't
onto your show
invite you
to
to
talk
make
about the
comparisons to
babies.
black people and
About,
slavery. Sorry, just because I
it's-
invite you down doesn't mean you can be offensive to black people. Sorry, that's not what this invitation was for.
well, we can see.
Are you all right?
What your audience. We can see if your audience find I'm offensive or not. But you
I
don't
don't have to wait for them. I don't have to wait
You
for my
don't speak for
audience
all
to check
people.
disrespect. I'm sorry, we don't do that over here. If you're offensive to me, I don't have to wait for an audience to tell me you're offensive. I know what offensive is. If I try to educate
I have
myself,
offended
like,
you.
no, you're offended black. You're offended black people. Like, what are you talking about? Are you okay? You don't listen. I know when someone is saying racial insensitive things, and I call it out. And you said racial insensitive things straight away, and I called it out. Like, I called it out, and I didn't expect you to double down. When you double down, it lets me know exactly what type of person you are. Do you get me? Because you're on the wrong right now, and you think you can tell a black. There's no way on earth I would tell an Asian person what you're trying to say to me. There's no way I'll tell a Jewish person.
You know what? You're just trying to drag this out. You're just trying to drag this out as much as you can. I'm done. I don't really know. There's nothing more I can say because you just want to go round and round in circles.
No, not really.
So thank you.
No,
honestly, thank you for having me on your show.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You right there? Just okay. Andrew, you be simping. Weird idea of a show. Invite someone on and then talk over them and tell them what they are saying. Stop simping. First of all, it's my show, so you can't overtalk me, and it makes it harder for me. And I let her talk for the longest time, but the moment she started, I wanted to challenge her, and then she chose to double down on it. And I'm not going to have a white woman talking that and doing that. No, sorry, I'm not going to do that whatsoever. So if you feel as if you can come into a platform and start making comparisons about black people, and then we try to educate you, and then you want to double down, then I'm going to consider that to be racist. And that's what I consider that to be. So, like, it's nobody asked anybody to make a comparison to black people. You chose to go and do that. Then when I chose to, and I tried to tell you that's not a good comparison, you double down, triple down, quadruple down. Like, so, you know, we leave that for the people to see. That's it. Like, you know. He says, to be fair, she also drew comparison. But I'm not Jewish, though. So I don't care what you draw. You can draw comparisons to anything. If you draw comparisons to my people, I'm not going to fight another people's battle. It's not my people. Like, it's not my concern. So if you want to make a comparison to giraffes, make a comparison to giraffes. But if you start trying to say, then I'm going to challenge you on it. And that's all it is. I did not expect it to be that. Do you understand? But, you know, if you want to go and do your live shows and then start to make more comparisons to black people and say, I promise you, Ruth, go out there on your next live and say abortion is like slavery. If you're, you know what, if you really think what you're saying is funky, go out there and say what I said. Go on there. Go and say what I said. Andrew, I can't believe you're such a victim, okay? Andrew, you're giving simp vibes. I can't believe you're offended by your own dehumanization of other human beings, China. Andrew, you're simp. I'm sorry, okay? All right? She's not going to give you none. I'm sorry. That's bare simpish. I can't believe you're offended by your own dehumanization of other... Bro, allow it, man. Just allow it. Allow it. Allow it. Okay? Allow it. Just don't do it. All right? I appreciate it for putting up to the live, but like, you're not gonna start speaking about black people and start talking rubbish. Like, I'm just not gonna have it. All right? It's just something that's not gonna go on. Just no. Sorry, right? Just how it is. Okay. Guys, like the video. Shout out to everyone that pulled through. Yeah, man. Subscribe to the channel, turn notifications. We're gonna keep going. Shout out to everyone on TikTok, man. Big up TikTok, man. We was going streaming live. They said they want us to do more on TikTok. So. Yeah, we smashed our goal. We hit our goal. Big up on TikTok. We hit the goal over on TikTok. So shout out to everybody else that's going on. Yeah, man. Guys, we're going to go again tomorrow. You know, my name is Shannon, the man, the voice, and you know what it is. And we out.